On my banger we live, I got 10 Maybachs outside. On my banger we live, I got 10 Maybachs outside. On my banger we live, I got 10 Maybachs outside. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm your host, Blue Strip Wit, Dr. Phil of the Street, Steve Harvey of the Hood. This is another episode of 99 Vision, brought to you by 99 Entertainment. Thank y'all for joining in. Today is Wellness Wednesday. If y'all just not joining in, today is Wellness Wednesday, and we're discussing addiction today. Today is a special Wellness Wednesday because I'm having a very special guest, man. One of my best friends, growing up, childhood compadres, play AAU together. Raleigh's finest, alumni, big stepper. Mr. William Aldridge is going to join us today. He's going to be talking about his situation and his experiences with addiction, how to overcome it, and things like that. So what's going on right now is, like I said, we want to just talk about addiction and overcoming it, whether it be alcohol or drugs, opioids, pills, anything like that, lean, anything that you can actually be addicted to, Xans, Perks, Molly's. There's a lot of different drugs out here that you could be addicted to. But the first thing, they're realizing that you have a problem and overcoming that problem. That's the beauty, and that's where we want to show growth. Still waiting on my guy, but until he get in, I just wanted to talk about my addictions. I've been addicted to marijuana since I was about 15 years old. Haven't really been able to stop, probably once or two times to get a job or something like that. But it's tough, man. And people say that marijuana is not a drug. They don't feel like it's a drug. But I mean, it can hinder you from getting a job, or it will block some opportunities in the corporate America. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard. We're dealing with different ailments, and, you know, it'll affect your personality too. Will is here. He's joining in right now. Like I said, we're talking about addiction right now. Let me try to get him in right now. Let me add him. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. I'm adding him right now, y'all. Oh, I must have pressed the wrong one. Hold on. You gotta join in. Hold on. There it is. Guest request. My little weak ass. Guest request. Allow your viewers to request to join in. Oh, you gotta request first. Yeah, Will, you gotta request. It's on the side. Just request first and I can bring you in. Sorry, y'all, for the technical difficulties and all that good stuff. I see y'all commenting. One comment says, when we are no longer in denial, we begin to heal. Thanks for this segment. So many people need to know they are not alone. Most definitely. Will, all you got to do is just request to add in. And once it sends a request, it's going, you know, once you send a request, it's tell me that you're requesting to come in and I can add you. You know, this is one of my this is our first time having Will on the show. See, just click the green button. Yeah, click the green button that's right by your name. Because right now I can only click it for Nate. Yeah, like I said, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Dr. Phil of the Street, Steve Harvey of the Hood. We talking about addiction today. Thank y'all for joining in, overcoming it. You know, some of us addicted to drugs, some of us addicted to alcohol. Bring them on camera. There we go. My dog. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Y'all just now joining in. It's 99 Vision. It's one of our, you know what I'm saying, most popular segments. Wellness Wednesday here, the man, the myth, the legend. One of my dogs, the coolest Caucasian I ever knew, the best shooter, the only white boy on Raleigh's finest roster, and still a killer. How you doing, Mr. William Aldridge, man?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on here. I'm glad to see you, brother.
Good to see you
It's been
too.
a while. Yeah, I had technical difficulties. I'm sorry, guys.
It's cool.
I had to switch it over to the phone because I don't know what's going on with the laptop. But I'm
You
here,
got
so
your
glad to be here.
headphones?
No, I'm good.
I'm about to say we probably be able to hear you better.
You having trouble hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just a little light. It's just light.
All right, give me a second. Let me see what
All
I
right,
can do.
cool. Yeah, I really want to dig into this with you, but I want to give them good audio. I believe the headphones will make it, you know what I'm saying, work a little bit better. Yep, it's coming in a little better. I'm here.
Hear me better?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit better. Most definitely.
Give me one
If I say it
second,
still
dude.
sound like you in the closet a little bit.
All right, give me
It's
one
cool,
second.
man. And take your time. Like I said, this is our platform. You know, the important part is to get the message out to the people. And a lot of people want to feel like they can be related to, and a lot of people feel like they don't have anybody to relate to when it comes to addiction and things of that nature. So I really do appreciate you for blessing our platform, man. I really want to thank you for taking the time out. We was trying to do it last season, but was never able to. We was trying to do it last season for a long time, but I'm happy that we were able to finally make this happen.
All right, give me a second, bro.
Still trying to get the headphones.
My girlfriend, so I use both, man.
You gotta get some headphones in here.
What?
This is my dog. We both from Raleigh, North Carolina. That's my hometown. Born in Ohio, raised in North Carolina. Raleigh, it's a very special holds a very special place in my heart. This is my guy, my childhood friend, William Aldridge, that would like to, tap in on his, experiences. We having technical difficulties. I do apologize. I don't know what's going on. The Wi-Fi acting up. I don't know what's going on. But like I said, I'll talk to y'all about my experiences. So yeah, my first experience is dealing with okay, he's coming back. He's coming back. Let's see if we can get this sound right.
All right, DeWitt. Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, but it still sounds like you far. I can hear you. It just if you had your headphones or something, it'd be better. It's really about, can the people hear us? Can y'all hear us? Let us know if you can hear us. Y'all can hear us. I see a lot of people in on the live right now. If y'all can hear us, give me a thumbs up. Y'all give me, I'm saying? If y'all can hear me, y'all give me some thumbs up, thumbs down. We want to make sure that we got the audio on point. Let me hear something, Will.
Yeah, my headphones are dead, so I'm trying to charge them up.
Oh, no, you cool. You cool. As long as you just stay right there, I can hear you. We just can't be talking at the same time.
All right.
Oh, it's an echo on your end because we ain't got no headphones. It's an echo on your end.
All right, hold up.
All right, Nick, I'm gonna bring you in. While we wait for Will. I'll bring you in, Will. Nick, while we wait for Will. Like I said, I'm dealing with marijuana since the age of 15. Definitely used it as a recreational drug. Before that, I was like big zero tolerance, high anxiety. Really had high anxiety. Being in the household that I lived in, was always worried about something, worried about getting in trouble, or just wanting everything to be perfect per se. I had to have good grades, had to, what I'm saying, AB honor roll, had to make the basketball team, had to make the football team, just different things of that nature. That a childhood stress that a childhood could give you. You know what I'm saying? Because parents say that children cannot stress or children shouldn't be stressing, but it's a lot of things that you do stress about as far as just being in relationships, different things of that nature. So at 15 years old, that's when I started experimenting with marijuana and things of that nature. Uh, and and I instantly loved it. I don't know what I'm about to try to bring you in. I can't even bring you in, Dominic. It's over. It ain't even letting me bring you in. You got to request it, Dominic. Man, listen. While I'm live, I'm getting calls while I'm live right now. I know it's popping, but I can't be calling me while I'm live, dog. I thought I had this junk on Do Not Disturb. All right, so Nick, I still can't bring you in. Been dealing with marijuana since 15 years old. Tried it, instantly loved it because it took that stress away. Um, Things that I used to worry about was not really a big deal anymore. Uh, I still was getting the grades that I needed to get. Always sat in the front of the classroom, things of that nature, took care of my business. But at the same time, I like to experiment recreationally with marijuana. I used to go to every class blow. I'm talking about from 10th grade on. I went to every class blow. I was not going to go to class unless I was blowed. My mom used to give me drug tests, different things of that nature. I used to get my little brothers to pee for me. It was terrible. Uh, and it puts you on a different frequency. But at that time, at 15 years old, it's not really a frequency that you need to be on because you got so many things to accomplish. Now, trying to bring Will the Thrill back in, but just know that you're not the only one, man. There's a lot of people dealing with addictions. There's a lot of people that's struggling. And yeah, Will, man, just let us know what's going on with you. How was it like growing up in Raleigh, North Carolina for you?
It was good, man. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, my headphones are charging up, so we're just gonna have to deal with this right now. But yeah, man. I mean, as you mentioned, we've known each other since we were kids. Grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina. I played basketball my whole life. Went to school at the University of Georgia. Graduated, went back home for a little bit, and now I've found myself down in South Florida, actually sober. I'm glad we're talking about this today. It's become a important thing in my life, but not to get too far ahead of things. I had a good childhood, man. As you know, I never wanted for anything. I played basketball when I wanted, had plenty of friends, did well in school, had the girls, had everything, and that's when everything seemed all good, and the drinking and the smoking weed wasn't a problem. I think that one of the important things is when you're at that age, you have so many other things to keep a structure around you. You have school, you have sports. You're coming into an age where you're starting to understand women or men. So you have these distractions, and you have, kind of like a falsified structure because it's put in place for you. You don't choose any of this. You go through elementary school, through high school, and that's what you're supposed to do. And so it almost gives you a way to justify the drinking or the alcohol and the marijuana. It doesn't seem to be a problem yet because you seem to have other things going on in your life, and so it makes it look like everything's under control. I think that's a big problem, growing up. And as you mentioned, DeWitt, so many people don't recognize it. And the first thing to do that I've learned, one of the most important things I've learned throughout my experience and what I've gone through the last year and a half, getting sober and failing a couple times at that. It's not a one-shot done thing. Addiction's a tough disease. But the most important thing I've learned, I think, is you got to ask for help. That's the first thing you got to do, and that goes for many other things in life too. You got to pick up the phone and you got to ask for help.
For sure. So, what drugs were you experimenting with? Or what drug was it? Drugs, alcohol? Was it both? Or
Yeah, man. So in high school, it started, and as you well know, I think we've had a couple times, even before games, at points in
for
time.
sure,
We could smoke a blunt and get high before games,
that's
and
happening,
still
and
win.
still produce.
Um, yeah, but in high school, it started with the drinking first, and then the marijuana. It all happened pretty quickly. I want to say I was in seventh or eighth grade maybe when I tried my first drink. And at first, I thought it was nasty, but then I got drunk,
Right.
and it was like, holy shit, I'm 14, 15 years old, hitting TV, talking to all these girls, social circles, taking a drink and getting drunk makes all that real easy. And it makes things a lot of fun. I think anyone who says that it's not fun is full of shit.
Right.
Because, I had a lot of fun, and it all was, good and fun until it wasn't.
One big party.
Yeah,
What happens when the
yeah,
party
man.
is over?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so, I started with alcohol and weed all throughout high school. It was just a weekend thing. I'd smoke weed during the week, but alcohol was a weekend thing. I got to college. Now, University of Georgia is a pretty big party school. And another thing that, in my life that I did, I decided to go to the University of Georgia, which is a big party school, rather than taking a smaller school scholarship or something like that. And in retrospect, things could have been different, but, I wouldn't change things. That's not part of my story. What has happened is part of the story. And so I wouldn't change things that have happened. I want to harp on learning from your experiences. That's really important with addiction. And it's important with anything. I think something you'll find with addiction and alcoholism is that a lot of the principles and the things you do to go about healing and correcting old behaviors and learning new things are things you do in your everyday life. Things like taking a moral inventory, checking yourself. Have I been trustworthy? Have I been loyal? Have I been honest? Have I been caring, giving, loving, whatever it may be? And I think it's important for anybody with mental health in general is to do that checklist every now and then.
Some self-checklist. Self-check yourself. Look in the mirror and say, what have I done to make things the way they are?
Yeah, exactly. And then what can you do differently? A practice that I try to do sometimes, and it's tough, man. It's very tough. But I try to stay mindful and in the moment as much as I can. And thinking, that day, man, I'm really going to concentrate on being selfless, giving to other people, doing what I can to help others rather than myself. And, just concentrate on it that day.
Right.
And then it starts to trickle over. It starts to become habit.
Take the attention off yourself, so then you're not thinking about getting high. You're thinking about helping somebody rather than yourself feeling good in another way.
Right. And I think that's really the ultimate goal, or kind of the ultimate mission is, and once you get that feeling of being able to help someone else, you realize that that's what it's all about.
For sure.
And that goes for just being on here tonight, man. What you're doing with all this to it's awesome. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that, bro.
I'm just glad I can help out.
No, I really do appreciate you, man. Hey, man, I'm sure your story didn't touched a lot of people because you were from a very polished background. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you had a great childhood. So that means like these drugs don't really have say of who they going to get attracted to. Like you come from the best background, you come from the hood, you come from the street. It don't matter. It's touching everybody. Like this drug epidemic. It doesn't matter where you come from. The drugs will come to you. But it's about your mental and where you are if you're gonna be able to handle it. But how do you feel about them saying that marijuana is a gateway drug? You feel like did that trigger the the alcohol, or was it just
I don't think it was the marijuana, to be honest. Um, Marijuana's become quite a controversial subject these days with, it being a medicine in many ways and has a lot of healing properties. CBD's been legalized just about everywhere. So I wouldn't directly attribute any of the problems or turmoil I've gone through to marijuana. I think the alcohol is very underrated, and a lot of people don't realize how powerful alcohol is. It's sold in stores. It's legal. You can go to the corner store and buy it.
It's easy to abuse. Very easy to abuse.
Right
And
there,
I feel like I'd be more messed up off alcohol than marijuana.
Oh yeah, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, man. Withdrawing and coming off alcohol is the worst thing ever. You hear about heroin, you hear about all this stuff, but alcohol is terrible, man. It's you can die from it. It's dangerous. You can die, which brings me back to saying how you need to ask for help. You got to, and I'm lucky that I caught it when I did, because what had happened to me with the alcohol is eventually you do become dependent on it, and your body starts dependent on it, to the point where I was getting dry heaves in the morning, cold sweats. Yeah, so it becomes dangerous,
and your body starts to need it.
Yep, it's one of the worst drugs, and that's what kind of ultimately brought me to where I am now. And I guess I kind of jumped around a little bit, but last June I came down to rehab in South Florida, so I'm down in Boca Raton now, South Florida. I did 2 months of inpatient rehab. Most people like to refer to it as treatment. More politically correct, but I got to give a lot of credit and a lot of props to them to where I'm at now. From there you go into another step down program where you stay in a halfway house with other people that have struggled with addiction and whatnot, and then you progress. And so now it's crazy. Within a year and a half, I'm now living with my girlfriend on my own. I'm teaching and coaching basketball, giving back to kids. So, it's crazy how it's full circle. I missed out on that college opportunity to play ball, but now I'm able to give back, doing something I love.
And that's a beautiful thing. Now, you mentioned in order to get help, you got to want it and ask for help. What made you get to that point where you were no longer in denial and that you wanted help? What made you come to that point? When did you hit that?
So, to be honest, when my dad was, and my dad, he was about fed up with me, and he was
Mr. Aldridge, man. Shout out Mr. Aldridge, man.
So he was a big reason I went to rehab. I had gotten another DUI, and so just about the only option was to go to rehab. And at the time, not being educated and understanding what the disease of addiction is and how bad it is in comparison and whatnot, I got down here in South Florida where I am, and I was still like in denial. No, I don't have a problem. I'll dry up. I'll get cleaned up for a couple weeks.
So you thought
then I'll be good.
You could control the alcohol.
Right. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll just do a quick reset, and I'll get right back to it. I'll get back to normal life. What I realized is the disease of addiction is much bigger than just the alcohol or the drugs. It's the feeling of always wanting more and having it now. And that's what the alcohol and the drugs. When you light a blunt, when you choose dope, when you take a sip, you get that immediate feeling of instant gratification. You're automatically happy. So it takes all the pain or the stress or whatever else is going on in your life away like that.
For sure.
So, I learned a lot more about addiction And then as I met more people and I heard more stories, and I started to realize, I was like, man, a lot of this stuff that all these other people are talking about sounds familiar. I've been arrested 4 or 5 times. I've got girlfriends from alcohol. I've screwed up grades because of alcohol. And all these stories started coming together, and finally it was like, damn, I got a fucking problem.
It just hits you. It just hits you one day like, this is not the way that life is supposed to be. This is not the way I envision myself. And you got to keep it in account. Do I really want to be here? Because like you said, alcohol can kill you. So it's a lot of people that have health issues and things of that nature because there's a lot of sugar and alcohol, gives you diabetes, things of that nature. And like you said, it messes with your head. It gives people headaches, seizures, a whole bunch of stuff that can happen when you drink alcohol. So you gotta wanna be here for yourself first.
That's exactly right. And that's a good point you bring up, because a lot of people, they'll live with they make the decision that, okay, well, this is just how I'm going to live. And it's sad. It's all about how you have to want help. You do. You got to want it. It's something you got to know that if you need help, your life is going to be better. So you really do have to want support.
Gotta want the support, man. So is there anything that you would like to any special message that you want to give out there? Anybody that's feeling some type of way, or anything that you know what I'm saying?
Well, just to anyone listening or everyone out there, if anyone's feeling troubled or just needs someone to talk to, addiction, the drugs, and drinking, and it goes a lot further than just that. Mental health is, an all-encompassing.
For sure.
That's why I'm glad you're doing it.
I appreciate that, because I've been seeing too many of my friends and things hitting close to home with suicide, or somebody killing their spouse, or just jumping off the deep end, jumping out the window. And I just feel like if people had somebody to talk to make them feel like they not by themselves, or they not crazy, or like, I've had suicidal thoughts before. You understand what I'm saying? But I know if I've had them, and I live a pretty substantial life compared to the average American. I mean, so there's other people that's been worse off than me, that, then I know that they just one insult away, or one bad day away from just saying, fuck it. And that's what I'm trying to get away from. Like, I want to save as many lives as possible. That's what I want to use my platform for.
You'll come to find out, suicide and addiction go hand in hand a lot of the time. I think the ultimate takeaway from this is that I think the best way to fight addiction in general is, number one, stay busy. Stay doing things.
Stay busy.
Get outside. Walk.
Get off your ass. Do something. Do some jumping jacks. Anything. Exercise is key.
I'm old as hell, so I get out there, but even just one game, just doing something. And the other thing, it's about changing your whole mindset about the world. It's being okay in your own skin. You know what I mean? It's being okay with it. Just knowing that everything is going to be alright. It's going to be cool. Craziness in the world right now. Election going up. But at the end of the day, it's going to be alright. I know you've been through a lot.
For sure. Most definitely. Like, it's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I just want to keep encouraging people. We'll let the people know where they can contact you, or, get in contact with you. I mean, let them know.
I hope y'all see my name. My name is William F. Aldridge on Facebook. It should be on there with the active viewers. Anyone want to talk or just catch up about their day, man? I'm always here.
Will, I really appreciate you, man. It's been a very humbling experience for you to even ask me to come up here on my platform. Means more than you ever know, Will, man. I really do appreciate you. You always been my brother, dog, and I can't wait to link up with you so we can just do some more stuff, activities for the community, and we can keep this thing going, man. We want to save as many lives as possible. Dr. Phil of the streets, because they don't talk about this type of stuff in the culture. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna keep it alive, and I need powerful people like you, brilliant minds like yourself, to spread the word that we really trying to make some changes in the community.
Here to help however I can, brother.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, Will. Thank you, man. Love.
All right.
I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you.
You too. I'll text you.
So, like I said, that was our Wellness Wednesday segment of the day. I know the mic was a little bit assy. I do apologize. We'll tighten that up next time. Again, I'm Blue Strip with Dr. Phil of the Street, Steve Harvey of the Hood. This is our Wellness Wednesday segment, and we out. Yo, follow, like, subscribe on YouTube. I don't say that enough. Y'all follow, like, subscribe. Keep this thing going, man. We doing it for the culture.